Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to our Find Me Alpha Symphonia Game of the Week. My name is Fleeing Panda, and tonight we have the Power Bottom Boys versus POPO's Pecking Order. We tried to get all kinds of things set up here tonight, and some of it worked, some of it didn't. Without further ado, though, I'm going to bring in the mess that is the desk.
Woo!
Yeah. Ladies and gentlemen, joining me tonight, we have Opie, Guy Fieri. That's not Guy Fieri anymore. It's Ron Gurgundy, Gurg7, Euromoose, and Biscuit Hat. We have all kinds of things going on here, and hopefully you're enjoying all the hard work that these guys are putting in. And we are going to have such a fun time tonight. Welcome, gentlemen. Anyways,
Hey.
First things first, we are going to go straight into the match that we have on the docket. We have Power Bottom Boys. In the starting lineups for them are Frontlash in the top lane, Labyrinth 1898 in the jungle, Rob in the mid lane, Fudgy Ditters at 80 carry, and Murphy Rodette at support. Alright, their current game record is 5-1. Are they the favorites in this matchup? Guy Fieri, take it away.
I think I would give it that the favorites are Power Bottom Boys. They've looked really good, really consistent all split. POPO has, especially last week, they looked very strong, especially in the early games around what Menbung can do. And I'm sorry you asked me a question as I was eating an Oreo, so...
Wow. It's like I didn't tell you we were going live or anything.
Well, you did, but I was still eating my Oreo.
Oh, man.
I think I give it an edge, Power Bottom Boys, but it's definitely not going to be an easy edge by any means, because if Menbung has a good series, it's going to be incredibly difficult on Power Bottom Boys. So, back to my Oreo.
All right. OP, what do you think is this team's play style? Are they more of a peel for Fudgy, or are they a focused top lane or mid lane by the jungle?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a little bit of both. I mean, Fudgy is obviously a super strong carry, so can handle things on his own. And then, I mean, if you look into the mid lane, they definitely put a lot of, I feel like they put a lot of pressure there as well. So I think a lot of that just comes down to champ select and what do you prioritize? What are they going to prioritize? Whether it's like a carry, a hyper carry for Fudgy, something that plays a little bit more safe, or if you put Frontlash on that, some sort of super carry, because Frontlash is a huge part of it as well, so we'll have to see.
I just want to throw in, I love that you literally just put a picture of a golden retriever for Labby. I died.
You know, it's because he doesn't have Facebook and he doesn't have any
Right.
like Facebook pictures.
Nobody knows what he looks like.
Yeah, no one knows exactly what he looks like. And every time I hear Labby, I think of a dog. So
Oh my god.
it's a happy
that's
looking
so
dog
adorable.
too, you know? And then it's like, if you look here, it's like the Bubbles type dog. Yeah, with the blonde. Yep, blonde dog. Labby, you're a blonde dog. Anyways,
Anyway,
moving on to the next team. Their competitors today is POPO's Pecking Order. In the top lane, we have StarCraft. Menbung is your jungler. Za Wurdo, who is a name change. This was formerly Kiko Fuck Yourself or something like I don't even know.
Oh.
a picture of Sean.
Gordon Ramsay subbing in at 80 carry for POPO's Pecking Order. And then Super Kame Guru now at support. What do you like about this team? What do you think? What are you guys thinking about them?
It revolves around Menbung, and Menbung has a tendency to try and get StarCraft ahead, and StarCraft can carry. So we've seen that before. So I expect to see a lot of pressure there. Now I've noticed a lot that Zawa Rudo has been getting a lot of bans thrown his way as well, because he likes to play those aggressive carries like Zed, for instance. Zed I see gets banned a lot. So maybe if they don't throw bans his way, he can get some sort of hyper carry and try and pop off in a game.
That being said, though, I don't know that if I'm POPO, I'm guessing that's going to be typically some kind of a supportive mage, a control mage, something like the Orianna, the Karma, the Morgana from PBB, because that's kind of Rob's wheelhouse as a mid laner. He does have the Echo, which is kind of not in that vein at all, but typically that's the style that Rob plays, and it's going to be a lot more difficult on Zarudo to play something like the Zed into that, just because it's so much just control and then safety that those. So I don't know if we're gonna see that.
I think as long as the laners of PBB can hold their own, they'll be fine. I think overall they, I like made rankings of everyone based on their overall highest rankings, like combined with their individual players, and they're number 1 or 2. I think they're number 2. So they obviously have the skill.
PBB or POPO?
PBB.
Okay.
So they obviously have the skill there for each player, and they have, each individual player is not a weak link, so it's going to come down to just denying vision and getting vision of Menbung, making sure that they know where he's tracking in the beginning of the game, and denying any early ganks.
The main thing that we didn't even really touch on, though, is front lash. That's a huge part in this game that could be a huge catalyst for PBB, as well as just a rock. None?
Yeah, that matchup, front lash StarCraft in the top lane should be pretty interesting to watch.
I want to see the Aurelia. You're gonna get some kind of a dumb tank from StarCraft because that's what he's typically been playing. You're probably gonna see the Nasus band out against StarCraft, which because that's the pick that blocked the Aurelia, and I think put flash on Aurelia. Aurelia poops on Ornn, just lol, nice shield. Poops on Scion, lol, nice shield. Doesn't necessarily poop on Cho'Gath. It's still a favorable lane. So I would love to see him go that route. Go some hard carry, pick up a Conqueror Bruiser, which I think really fits the front lash's carry-minded mentality really well. And that's what I want to see from PBB this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's going to be the biggest. I think that's one of the more premier matchups is those two. I mean, just so far from this season, because they both performed really well in almost every single one of their games, and they both have that potential to swing the game in their favor just on their own. So, yeah, Aurelia is a super strong one. Even if you get shut down early, comes back late game, doesn't even matter. So
Absolutely.
I'm interested to see how the ADCs do in the bot lane. So, with everything going through now.
So, Opie, what's your prediction for the series? I think Anna was about to do that.
Yep.
It's alright.
It's alright. You're fine.
I'm guessing it's going to be a 1-1 here. I think if I want to try and get specific in things, I think that Popos might come out with that first game, maybe catch PBB sleeping a little bit, but then that second game they're going to come back. They're going to come back with a vengeance and pick up that second game. So I think, I'm guessing it's going to be a 1-1.
I'm going to actually personally give it 2-0 to PBB. And I'm going to have this with the caveat that it's going to be because they put Labby on something that can make it happen. Which are nobody's going to contest. That's what Labby's best at juggling, is early playmaking and pressure. I think that is potentially Menbung's number one weakness, or biggest weakness, is getting out pressured early. If Menbung has the pressure early, he'll roll. But if he gets pressured early, it's a lot harder on him. And I think that's going to be the thing that rides PBB to it.
Well, and the thing you see from Menbung a lot is he definitely tries to go for those early invades. He's always looking to get those advantages and get that extra vision in. So with Labby being an aggressive style player and playing those like early game champs that do really well, like Lee Sin and whatnot, if you get something like that and can like out-duel Menbung in the jungle, if you get caught and then get collapsed upon, that can flip a whole game for you. So
yeah,
kind of clashing style, so we'll see who can end up coming out on top of that.
We have chat going, how many Maes is that? 5 of 7 Maes. Also, Panda, I'm disappointed. You could have photoshopped Eric's face into his cam spot. I mean, Eric kind of put his own little face wherever he's going to put his face, so.
Wait, I don't like how that sounded.
Ooh, Champs.
Champ Select. Are we ready to go for Champ Selects? Looks like one team is ready. We're just waiting for Frontlash to confirm that we are
This
ready
week
for
four?
bands, and then casters. Take it away.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'll be doing play-by-play tonight, and Reese will be doing color here as we get into this game. Or not this game, Jesus. This pick and ban. Yeah, thanks for that analysis, guys. That was really, really cool to hear you guys
Yeah.
talk about both teams. And, I kind of agree with what everybody said. There hasn't been a pick ban yet, but, Reese, what do you think about this game? What do you think about going into this match here?
So it's kind of hard to say because StarCraft and Frontlash are two of the most successful top laners here in the league. Labby and Menbung, also two very skilled junglers.
Mm-hmm.
This patch overall has decreased the effectiveness of bot laners, of AD carries. So, I mean, I've only played 2 games on the patch so far. I don't really know how successful top laners are now at it being able to carry the game. It seems like that's the direction they want to push it in, to give top laners and the non-AD carries, just everyone but AD carries, some agency in winning the game. So, I would like to see something like really strong come from StarCraft or Frontlash, like a Jax or Fiora or something that can really end a game.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree with that. I would like the Pike pick to be seen here. But with that being said, it looks like we got some picks in here, and the Power Bottom boys are actually going to ban the Xin and Cho'Gath away from StarCraft and Menbung, and POPO's pecking order here is going to ban the Lee and the Poppy, and then the Silver ban just came through on the side of PBB, and I think these are pretty standard bans on both sides here. The least, Labby has a crazy Lee Sin. I talked about it a lot last week. Menbung, trying to ban out some of those aggressive junglers so that Menbung can't just solo carry. It makes sense. The Karma ban comes in against Super.
And there we do see the Nasus in Frontlash, and that's immediately what I was talking about. Someone who can really, after 30, 35 minutes, push down towers by himself.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've seen it in PMA LCS before, and we're going to see it again here, I guess, tonight with Nasus making some really, really game-changing plays here. As we saw with Bear Jr., I believe, last week. And just in other games in general, that game sticks out to me. I'm sorry. But the Morgana pick here is going to be a flex pick for PPO. It could go to... God, I'm going to butcher his name. I guess that's just like the meme for PMA LCS for me. But it might go to Zawardo.
Zawardo, I think.
Zawardo, there we go. But it might go to Super as well. The Vars pick is going to come in for Super Hoagie. I'm not really sure what AD carries Hoagie plays, but...
I actually am really excited to see this Vars. Okay, these pick bans are flying by.
Yeah.
So the Vars really strong with Essence Reaver right now. It is perfectly aimed at AD carries who want to use their ultimate at the start of a fight and then want to auto attack a lot and weave abilities through it. That is Vars' MO 100%. Uses his ultimate to start a fight, gets his blight stacks, pops them with his abilities. Just pop your blight with Q, auto attack a bunch, pop it with E, auto attack, you Q's back off cooldown, auto attack some more, and pop it with Q. So I'm really excited to see Varus if he builds an Essence Reaver. Also, Blade of the Ruin King historically has been a really good item on him, and that just got its price reduced, which obviously is buff. So we'll see if he builds that. The Orianna Nocturne, not quite the best delivery system, but we do see like a high damage jungler coming out of Labby.
Yeah, I mean, what I've started to notice from Labby is that he plays these high damage junglers, and so the Nocturne pick isn't really that much of a surprise. But Nocturne makes a lot of plays. He has a pretty dope ult. He can catch a lot of people out if they're mispositioning or by themselves. And then the control mage for Rob here, I think, is a pretty standard pick. It's not something we've seen out of the ordinary here for the Power Bottom boys. And going off of that, if you want to talk about this matchup in the top lane, with that Trundle pick, Reese, take it away.
I would say that doesn't necessarily. Yeah, I was gonna say that doesn't necessarily need to be a Trundle top lane. I wouldn't count it out entirely because I think the lane could go. I think that's mostly a skill matchup to see a Trundle versus Nasus, but it's entirely possible that it's Trundle jungle, which into a Nocturne, I think the Trundle would win in an early game fight. I'm not very well versed in jungle, so if I'm wrong, feel free to correct me. But
No, I mean, I think that's right. I just assumed it was a Trundle top because we saw that matchup literally last week where it was an Nasus versus a Trundle, so my bad for assuming that.
See the
But yeah.
Kaisa ban, more bans towards fudgy titters, as it says on the street.
Yeah, I mean, Bannon, with top, mid, and jungle already picked for the Power Bond boys, PPO can just ban out the AD carry pick against Fudgy. You never want an AD carry fed, especially with all these AD carry changes. And the new patch being released today, I believe. It's people still aren't really like fluent with like these changes, as I am not, and so. AD carry has been almost completely revamped here with some items and some champion changes, and so it can be really scary here to see what happens in this game in the bot lane on both sides.
So you see some interesting bans coming out of the side of Power Bottom Boys. Both, I believe, a jungle ban in the Graves, and possibly a top lane ban. I don't know Super Kami Guru Now's experience with Shen. Could also be a support ban, obviously. But interesting that the Trundle could be top or jungle. They decided to ban a top laner and a jungler. So you would think if they're calling a bluff for either one, that it could be flexed to, they would ban 2 for 1, or possibly even ban their... well, they don't even know mid lane necessarily. Morgana could be flexed to mid or support. So I think POPO's pecking order is playing this draft really smart. They can flex some of their picks, so Power Bottom Boys don't really know what to ban, and they pick the Aurelia as almost certainly a top laner, unless you're on They Are Here, in which case, who knows?
Yeah. The Rakan pick is going to come in here for Murphy, assuming that's a support pick, No, that's definitely going to be support. Rakan is super strong. He has been in the past 3 weeks. We've seen, whatever. We've seen recently PMA LCS. Rakan has been, I'm pretty sure, either perma picked or perma banned, something close to that. And so, the Power Bottom Boys are able to grab that with the Kog'Maw. I'm pretty sure that's a pretty strong lane in the bot lane here. And so it'll be interesting to see how Hoagie and Super, fight that against the Morgana Varus. I'm not really sure who wins per se. What do you think about that bot lane matchup, Reese?
So it still remains to be seen where this Morgana is going, which this pick coming in here is going to decide. But I would say if that's a Morgana support, they're hovering it. I'm just gonna wait a second until they lock it in.
Yeah, a few more seconds here. We're down to 5, 4. Oh boy.
Edge of my seat.
Yeah, dude, I'm like standing up here.
Darn. Oh, hold on.
Oh wait.
Okay.
So is it gonna be a Trundle top, Skarner jungle, Aurelia support?
Or So
It
Morgana
could be Trundle
mid.
support.
Yeah, Trundle support, Aurelia top, Skarner jungle. This is something really interesting. It could be Aurelia support if they are taking a page from the book of They Are Here. I would also be interested in seeing the Trundle support, something that's been like popular in the past in LCS and stuff, but this is kind of perplexing. We're gonna have to wait to see just what happens in like the actual champs, like where these champions go. what's concerning me right now that I want to talk about is PBB's draft has got me a little concerned for them because they've obviously got a strong split push with Nasus, but the rest of their team doesn't really have a way to fight without him. He is the only real front line on their team. Rakan, of course, can engage, but he is not tanky by any means. So my concern is if the Skarner manages to jump on them while Nasus isn't there, the other person, like whoever he gets to, is immediately dead.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said about that Nasus, Nasus is kind of, it's definitely a double-edged sword here. He could either split push or team fight, but usually that's at the cost of an objective, or that could be at a cost of a, team fight especially if they lose. I have a lot of people in chat saying that it's actually going to be Aurelia mid, and I'm super hyped to see that. That's really cool.
Yeah, I think
seeing
that is something we've seen picked before in professional play. I think MSI, game 1 of the finals, had Aurelia mid. I feel like some of these strange mid picks we've seen in the past, like I know Scion mid took off in competitive for a while, and I believe I haven't quite been keeping up on the MSI scene when that was happening, but I believe that Aurelia mid became a counter to that because she could push down the bannered minions because she is AD, as opposed to most mid laners that the Scion was a counter for. But we see the banner command in this patch has been nerfed significantly. No longer immune to magic damage. It's now just highly resistant to both physical and magic damage. So I'm still interested in maybe Aurelia mid. We're gonna see right here.
Actually, I'm in the actual pick ban in the League client, and it is Aurelia mid. Can confirm here right now. Interestingly enough, too, Rob is also hovering Smite on his Orianna, so we might see a really interesting mid lane, man. Oh. Did something happen?
This is an interesting strategy. You can't lose a game you don't play.
Exactly. If you dodge every game you play, eventually you're gonna climb. That's the only way. That's how it works. So we're just gonna kind of vamp as we figure out what's going on with the lobby. But yeah, I mean, it's Aurelia mid. Like you said, we saw it in MSI. I don't know how its performance went though. I don't think it was the best. Or it didn't do as well as everybody hoped. I'm not sure on that though. But yeah, it's gonna be cool to see just this game and just how both teams are able to fight each other. There's some real big off meta picks here coming through, and it's gonna be another interesting match here in PMA LCS. I'm so hyped for it. With the Power Bottom boys looking very strong, but also POPO's pecking order looking like the underdog here. Hopefully Membung could do something for this team. And I mean, like OP said, I really do believe that it's gonna be a 1-for-1 here in this games.
I think while we've got a minute here and we get Super Kami Guru now back into this game, we get a moment to talk about the patch. Patch 8.11 released today. Probably the most notable change is Pyke, new champion here. Did not see him. Did not make an appearance in pick or ban phase, and I think that's fair. It'd be pretty risky to say, yeah, I got 4 hours on this champion. I'm ready to take him into a game.
Going off of that though, I was kind of I really wanted to see it though. I really feel like PMA LCS is the place where a lot of things are tested or tried out, and not that that's a bad thing. I think that's great. You know, I love seeing new things happen, and I wish that somebody did pick the Pike, or at least like ban it or something just for the meme. That would have been funny. At least to
and
me.
I think it's possible we see it in game 2. I mean, it all depends, and it really could be taken anywhere at this point. Just today, I've seen it talked about being taken mid. I've seen it in the jungle. I've seen it in the bot lane support, obviously. I've heard about it before it was released that he could. Some people thought he could be a good top laner. So another big thing besides Pike that happened in this patch is a lot of AD carry changes. A lot of AD carry changes to pretty much every AD carry that goes in the bot lane.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like I'm looking at the patch notes right now, and it's just like everybody's stats are just completely changed. I'm not really sure what the idea is here. Obviously, outside of just revamping bot lane, I think there's, you know, every champ is either, you know, getting more damage, health, or whatever. Just to, it looks like they're just trying to fix whatever's lane reads. If you could give some more details on that, I haven't had the opportunity to play a game yet in 8.11, so I'm not really sure.
So what the idea was overall was AD carries had too much ability to bypass laning phase. They had a lot of sustain and armor, and well, essentially that's what's been changed. Armor across the board has been reduced by 4, I believe is the number. Health regen reduced. Base attack damage reduced. But I believe for the next few patches there is like some compensation for that, for last hitting. So if you would hit a minion that is within 4 health of death, it'll automatically die, and you will get the last hit. And next patch, they're reducing that to 3, and then 2, and then 1, and then it's gone to help wean people for last hitting, I guess.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's an interesting idea, but besides that, so essentially the idea is AD carries can be poked out of lane now, and it is very punishing. For example, Vayne now has 23 armor at level 1. She's practically naked. Like, she has very little resistance, 1 lethality item, and you're almost doing true damage to Vayne. So...
wow, that is crazy. I mean, is that change happening on all AD carries, though? It looks like a lot of attack damages are being nerfed here as I'm briefly scrolling. Armor is, I mean, it just depends on the champion here. Armor's going up for some, but for Vayne it's going down. I mean, it's very interesting to see this kind of patch so late. I mean, I guess they're preparing for the next like split professional play, but it's just interesting to see something like this. I haven't seen something like this since I started playing in season 5.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of I believe pre-season 3 when they changed the runes on armor. Armor runes back then were like you couldn't do anything without them. You had like 18 base armor on every champion. They increased it by 4 across the board and reduced the maximum you could get from yellow runes by 4. Yeah, so it wasn't absolutely essential to take armor yellows, but that was so long ago. The only similarity to it is that it's just a sweeping change that affects almost every champion. So here we see it only affect almost every AD carry. It changes the dynamics of bot lane. Basically, laning phase is more important. Poke is more important. You can't just you get punished for being poked, and you can't regen it as easily. You know, not that AD carries have particularly high regen, but
yeah,
it's more punishing when you get poked. Is the idea?
You know, so with that, you know, you're a support main. I'm a support main too. What does this mean for supports? Does this mean that AP mages like Brand, Zyra, are they going to be back in the meta here in this bot lane with poke being the thing AD carries are looking for? Or
I'm so glad you asked. So I think that poke supports will become more important. Like Lulu, for example, and Zyra will become very big. Brand, in my opinion, he has some other issues, like his mana is a tremendous issue as a support. Another's like Sona. She has some other issues where she's just too easy to catch out and kill. So I think it's also interesting we see armor go down on a lot of AD carries as an AD damage dealing support comes into play.
So could this rework an AD carry be a way to promote more assassin-like supports here in the future? I mean, Pike is the only assassin support, I believe, but could it promote things like maybe like a Trundle support or like an Aurelia support where it's like, yeah, they're a top laner or they're a jungler, but they have like some sort of CC and like can get like jump on an AD carry. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, is that more feasible now? Do you believe in this patch?
Potentially. I mean, theoretically, the only way that Pike works as a support is when he executes people with his ultimate, the person who gets an assist also gets gold.
Right.
But I feel like I'll use Zyra as an example. After laning phase, Zyra isn't a support in any conceivable way. She has CC, but she has nothing to buff up anybody. She can't heal. She can deal a lot of damage, and she can sort of stop people from moving. So those are Zyra's strengths. Not quite what you associate with a support that's a mage. So I might be biased because I do play Zyra support, but I feel like if a Zyra support gets a kill, it's not so bad because she is meant to do damage mid-late game, and she will. She really only needs a Haunting Guise to kick off her damage. So, I believe I believe that Blitzcrank and Thresh and other supports who can pick at the enemy AD carry or support if it's someone squishy, they will also be prevalent because let's say Blitzcrank grabs an enemy Varus, let's say. Varus, in previous patches, if the Varus like heals and flashes away and manages to have just like a sliver of health left, that Varus would now die with just an ounce less armor. The very slight amount more damage will be taken from, the Blitzcrank's AD carry. So it's just they take more damage in general, and they can't heal as easily from that damage. So I think we should go on to talking about like the late game impact, these new items, a lot of rework for crit items, and actually we see Super Comic Guru now is back in the game, so I think
is he?
Yeah, I think not everyone's ready yet, so we still have a moment to talk about these crit items. So essentially what's happened is crit AD carries have they're stronger overall late game, but they take longer to turn on. So whereas before a crit AD carry, let's say Caitlyn, would turn on after 3 items, Infinity Edge, Static Shiv, and Rapid Fire Cannon. Now it would take a 4th item with some attack damage to really start pumping out damage, because you've got the Infinity Edge, no longer gives crit in itself, and now it rather than doing extra damage with crits, it deals true 20%, I believe, 15% true damage on a crit attack. 15% of your damage as true damage. So it's a change to the dynamic of crit strike AD carries. They aren't necessarily worse, they're just different. They're very late game now. So you'll see Caitlyn or Tristana or someone else really turn on, but later in the game. They'll still be strong, just not as early.
Okay.
Though go ahead, sorry.
Well, I mean, were those, like, I guess my thing is, like, were crit 80 so an issue? I felt like there wasn't really anything wrong with that. You know, as a support and playing next to them, I felt like, if anything, the 3-item spike was a little late in the game, if anything. I felt like, if anything, it should be earlier, maybe, but, you know, I could be wrong. You know, I'm not an AD carry main, but, I mean, if you look at top, if you look at jungle, if you look at mid, I feel like after 2 items, and if you're ahead, you're doing pretty well. You know, you can do a lot more damage. You're a lot more tanky. Even as support, if you have 2 items and you're ahead, I feel like you could do more for your team. So it's kind of interesting to see that they're taking that the other way, and it looks like something happened again with Super here. I hope he's okay. But yeah, I mean, that's just how I feel about it. Is the fact that I feel like they're going the other way when it should. You know what I mean?
So yeah, we're not quite in champ select again. So I think this gives us a chance to talk about bot lane, and that'll transition to one more thing I wanted to talk about AD carries in this patch, is the ones that are not crit AD carries. On-hit AD carries like Kog'Maw and Varus that we see picked up here have been affected in a different way. While they're not directly changed in some ways, like Ginsu's Rage Blade was not touched, we see that their mid-game centered power spike is now more impactful against a crit AD carry because they are not powerful yet. But again, we don't see a crit AD carry in this game. We see two traditionally on-hit AD carries. So some changes that affect these two. The biggest one is Essence Reaver, completely changed. Now it's got something to do with your ultimate. When you hit somebody with your ultimate or cast your ultimate, your next auto attack gives you 30% attack speed for a little bit, and your auto attacks on hit reduce the cooldown of your basic spells by 20% of the remaining cooldown. So, for example, like a Varus could use his ultimate at the start of a fight and weave his abilities in between proccing his blight stacks, which in theory really increases his damage output. You're popping percentage health magic damage on them as you're attacking them. You've got the Ginsu's Rage Blade going, and also Blade of the Ruin King was buffed. The gold cost was reduced by 200. I think we're back in champ select again, so fingers crossed it goes through this time. I hope
third
everyone's
time's the charm here.
third time's the charm. So
Yep.
Onto this specific bot lane, I think that the advantage is on Varus' side because he has the Morgana. A Black Shield stops Rakan's engage. Rakan goes in. If Morgana has the reaction speed to get the Black Shield onto Varus before Rakan can knock Varus into the air, it doesn't happen. That can be a little trickier once Rakan gets ultimate. If he charms Varus when he goes in, Morgana can still Black Shield the knockup, but the charm's been hit. So Kog'Maw, I think their best interest is to farm and get through the laning phase as best they can. Nocturne could shake things up a bit once he gets 6, or if he comes bot even before getting 6, if the Varus and Morgana play a little too far forward. But Nocturne, not really known for very strong ganks until he is level 6.
Mm-hmm. And it looks like we are out of Champ Select again. Wait, did Shifter really try to join our game? Holy shit, that's awesome. Looks like an issue happened. There's something going on here.
Yeah, this. Okay, this time it seems like it was Menbong that
Yeah.
had issues. Let's see if they can reorder themselves. If we even want to at this point. I think it's just more important to get the game going.
Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at as well. You know, we never talked about, or Yuramu, sorry, we never talked about who's gonna win this game here. Looking at the comps,
Yeah.
you know, and I've been looking at the Champ Select board here, and personally for me, I think I like the Power Bottom Boys comp a little bit better than POPO's pecking order here. However, we just talked about about the Varus change and stuff like that, and Kog'Maw has been changed as well. What I really like though on PBB's side is the fact that they have that Nasus top. We've seen Nasus top time and time again make breathtaking plays, ending games that shouldn't have been ended. We 1v1, 1v3, 1v4, and so if that Front Lash can take that Nasus and snowball like we've seen Nasus on other really good top laners, I think Power Bottom Boys might take it. And the Nocturne, the Rakan, I mean, and Orianna, there's a lot of CC on the side of Power Bottom Boys here. Maybe not direct CC, but like indirectly, if the Nocturne alts, POPO's pecking order can't see themselves. Well, they can see themselves. They can't see each other though. That's kind of CC in a way, the Rakan knock up like you talked about. While the Morgana can Black Shield the W or the alt, if Rakan is going to all in, she can't Black Shield everything. So Rakan is still able to get some sort of CC off against the Morgana. If the Kog'Maw is able to just sit back and farm, I think the Kog'Maw, she's going to do a very good job on Kog'Maw. And Orianna's just a solid mid lane pick. And so I think I got to give it, for me personally, to the Power Bottom Boys here. Match 1.
Okay. I understand your point of view. But let me tell you why you're wrong. So, I'm just joking. But, so Power Bottom Boys, the Nasus, tremendous pick for Front Lash. We saw him on week 2. That was a memorable performance by him on Nasus. Really just a humongous mid and late game threat, split pushing, doing huge damage. And the game following that, we saw it picked away by Bear Jr., who also had a huge performance on it. So both games we saw, Nasus just taking over a game from the top lane, split pushing as hard as he can. So I expect we might see that again this game, but frankly, I just don't see the rest of Power Bottom Boys' team doing great in a fight that might be forced by POPO's pecking order. Skarner gets onto one of them, they're dead. Who's going to save them? It's Rakan. He's going to go in and he's going to die too because he's not a tank. Certainly not going to be Nocturne. He's bruiser at best, assassin at, I guess it's also pretty good. I don't know if it's objectively best, but Nocturne not very tanky at all in most cases. So if they happen to pick this Kog'Maw or Orianna, Nasus is in a side lane pushing in. POPO's pecking order might just kill the 4 of them while Nasus is in a side lane, and then they can take an objective. They might take a tower, they might take Baron. While Nasus only gets a tower or 2, may get an inhibitor in the best case scenario, but I think if Popo's Pecking Order plays this right, they will out-rotate and beat Power Bottom Boys in the macro. I do like the Rakan Oriana combo. We didn't see a great delivery system out of Nasus and Nocturne, but they did find one in Rakan. So there is hope for them. That if they can get a really sweet engage with Rakan, but honestly, I just don't see that happening because they'd have to get through Trundle, Aurelia, and Skarner to get onto a valuable target. I mean, Morgana, valuable, more like killable, it's just a support. But if they kill Varus, that'd be great. But then there's the Black Shield to worry about. So are they really going to be able to pop Varus if they get on him? If this Black Shield goes off, they won't even be able to CC him. So I worry their ability to stop from being engaged on in a 4v5 with Nasus and a split pushing in side lane, and then Popo's Pecking Order just takes an important objective. So in my book, this game goes to Popo's Pecking Order.
Yeah, it looks like, I guess, the current situation is that we're trying to find a sub for support. So if you happen to be a support player and you're willing to play, it looks like we found a sub, maybe. It looks like the sub is going to be OP. Actually, I think we're trying to figure something out right now in the game of the week chat here. So stay tuned. We'll let you know if when things are finalized here. But yeah, I mean, so I guess we have some different viewpoints here on the Nasus and the both team comps, and that's completely fair. I think I don't know who said it best, Uramoose, but somebody said that you can't necessarily just, pick a team out of the blue just based on comps. I mean, you have to look at everybody individually and their proficiency on all their champions and the team's communication. And so, I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's like anybody's game,
Absolutely. Like, for example, I would say Murphy brought it on the Rakan here. This is, by the stat sheet, at least his fourth game on the Rakan. He's played it plenty. He knows the champion. And so I think if anyone could get onto Varus through such a huge front line, it could be Murphy Roddet. And then all the Oriana needs to do is follow up with the ultimate. So, yeah, I think I wouldn't count Power Bottom Boys out just yet, but I think Popo's Pecking Order played this draft very smart. With the early Morgana and Trundle picks, the enemy team really didn't know what to ban in the second phase. I think the Graves and Shen bans they made might have just been useless.
It looks like, I think what's gonna happen here, as we can see in the lobby, I don't think Stream is looking at the lobby right now, which is completely fine. We might have an 80 carry sub, which will be Piper from the Lunchboxes of Doom, playing 80 carry for Popo's Pecking Order, and Gordon Ramsay actually playing support here. I think that's what's going to happen. At least that's the lineup here in the lobby. So yeah, that'll be interesting to see. With this sub, it's going to be interesting to see how Popo's Pecking Order plays around this as well. Like we said, you can't just pick a team based off of their, team comp. You have to look at everything. And, this sub might, could be really well, could be really bad. It all depends. So we're just waiting for the ready from Membung, and I think we'll be good to go here. Hopefully, fourth time is the charm. Here in PMA LCS. Moose, you got anything new going on back home?
Nope. Just working my job.
Nice.
Making,
What do you do?
I just do paperwork. It's boring as shit. I just
Okay.
I spend like 30 minutes working, and then I spend the next hour or two on Reddit. So,
Nice.
back in Champ Select, 4th time's the charm, says Jin. So, what's got me concerned is this is not the players they drafted this team for. So, I mean, I'm confident Super Hoagie, Gordon Ramsay will be able to play the Morgana, and Piper is ISIS is, whatever it is. Piper
It's
is
ISIS.
is ISIS. That's right. Piper, end of name, is very good AD carry. I'm sure he is capable of playing Varus, but these aren't the players they drafted for. So I'm wondering if, everything's gonna run smoothly in communication. That's my big concern.
Mm-hmm. And that was my concern as well. With what I said earlier, I think we've seen Piper perform very well for the Lunchboxes of Doom, and so I don't really know how well he is on Varus. OP just confirmed in the chat that Piper is a boosted bonobo. LOL. OP.
I also see confirmation is pronounced is. Piper is ISIS. Okay.
Oh.
No confirmation in any form whatsoever
We're
on
confused.
anything.
Just
So the only possible solution, vote Piper. Vote Piper MVP. We'll get him in the after game chat, and we can ask him there. And that's the only way we can possibly answer this question. So
it's just like with Ashen when we didn't know how I can't talk with how we pronounced his name. We thought it was Osian and something else that wasn't Ashen. We've seen it with our founding father, and we're going to see it again here tonight in PMA LCS. Look at that brotherhood.
So we seek some insider information from Guy Fieri in the chat. When they pulled Piper into the POPO team chat, he asked what he's playing. Sean says Varus. Piper just says good. Now that's a little intimidating. If I'm on Power Bottom Boys, Piper, definitely a very, very good AD carry. I believe on his own team, seeing some good success. But Varus also, I talked about Essence Reaver changes. Very good on this patch. Also capable of poking with the arrow. It's also quite important in this lane, in bot lane now. Poking the enemy AD carry can be quite punishing for them. In All-Star Season 3, definitely a very good AD carry.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Well, that's good, for Popo's pecking order that they were able to find a sub like that, available for all this switching around.
So
really cool.
we mentioned it earlier briefly. Orianna still has Smite. This is something she's committing to now, not just a hover. Yeah, new meta.
As we're hearing from our sponsors, it looks like Scuttlecrab is the only objective in League of Legends that matters. We saw in the 10 with the thicker health bar that's red, nice and thick. And if that's how you determine whether or not the objective is important or not, is if it has that red health bar. So
if you don't keep up with the PBE actively, you may not know. Just today, they removed Dragon and Baron from the game. There's just giant Rift Scuttles there.
Dude,
they're so big and they don't hit you back.
Oh,
very easy objectives to take. I highly recommend it. I highly recommend taking the Scuttle Crowd.
Yep. League is. Oh, wait a minute. Rob changed his smite to cleanse. It looks
Okay,
like
we
we're
do
gonna
see the cleanse.
a standard pick or a standard summoner spell pick.
A
in
standard
mid lane,
summoner.
unfortunately.
How dare he? Rob
Exactly.
played us. So
I'm so sad.
speaking of Rob, I'm very excited to see this mid lane matchup. And Aurelia into Oriana. I'm just curious how that's going to play out. I've never seen an Aurelia mid in my own game. I feel like the poke could be pretty punishing, but we see Ignite on Aurelia probably looking to get a kill pretty early on.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we just got. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
We just got confirmation in the chat from Cvan himself that Aurelia apparently wins this matchup hard. He keeps spamming in the chat how hard Aurelia wins, and so we got to just blindly assume here that Cvan is right. I'm definitely not being sarcastic at all. That the Aurelia, honestly, just play Aurelia in your solo queue games. Play her mid. That's the only place you can play her. But anyway,
yeah. While I got a moment here, I want to reach out to Cvan. Hey, Cvan, big fan. How can I become a great mid laner? Like, hit me back. Hit me back in private chat. We'll talk. In the meantime, so we do see the Trundle and Nasus matchup. I can't. Okay, that's fair. We do see the Trundle and Nasus top lane. We talked about potentially Trundle jungle earlier, but it is Trundle top versus Nasus. How do you think that matchup's going to play out?
We saw it last week, and we're seeing it again. It just depends on how both of these top laners perform individually. I think, they're both. Honestly, depending on how you build Trundle, they're both they could be similar champions where they focus on the split push. If Trundle builds reason instead of going tank, which is definitely a viable build. I'm not saying it's not, but then we have kind of the same situation we have on the other team where we have 4v4 team fights, and then the top laners are just split pushing in other lanes, just whacking each other with wet noodle. I think it really depends. The game last week or 2 weeks ago, whenever it was, when we had this matchup, I believe the Trundle won lane, but ultimately the Nasus won the game, I believe, if I remember correctly. I don't know. I'm losing my memory already. Feels bad. I'm old. Getting old sucks. Being 22. I know. I'm just memeing. But yeah, and it looks like the top, when we get into loading screen here, we see the borders. Top half of the map here has, a plat player on both sides. It's going to be interesting to see their performance individually. And it looks like Aurelia took Conqueror. So there was somebody in the chat saying if that happened that the Aurelia was going to do. So I guess, we're just. Oh, hey, it was our boy Eric. And so look at that. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Reese, looking at these team comps here and their level ones, do you think any team has a superior cheese advantage here against the other?
Morgana, ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely.
So I think if it has the level 1 advantage, it would be pecking order.
Okay. Yeah, and it looks like they know that they have this advantage here with all of them just running down mid as fast as they can. StarCraft typed in the chat, good luck, have fun, sorry for the delay. StarCraft, I know you can't hear me, but it's okay, buddy. It happens. It's PMALCS. If we started on time, that would be weird. You know what I mean?
All right, they're going into the jungle.
Going for it. And the Morgana Q is going to actually land on the Nocturne, and the Nocturne is just caught out here. He's going to have to flash, but the Ignite is going to come off here. Is it going to be enough?
He's
oh
dead.
my god, it's enough. It's going on to that Aurelia for first blood.
That's huge. That's really unfortunate from Babby.
Yeah.
This is flat one too. So I think he'll be hard pressed early game. This is a great start for Poe's pecking order. Assist on everyone but Trundle. You see Nessus getting a war onto the red buff to check if they're starting there.
Yeah, I think these are going to be standard starts outside of the cheese that we just saw. What's also really heartbreaking is the fact that Labby had to blow his flash for that, and he still ended up dying. And it sucks. It's a really bad start for Labby. He'll be down. It's going to be harder for him to gank without that flash. So hopefully he can get something off here, and his team can bounce back from that level 1.
Yeah, we see that Aurelia, with that kill, Recalled got a longsword and an extra health potion.
Oh my god, there's going to be a fight in the bot lane. The bot lane looks like Labby's just going to go down for another kill here, but Skarner's going to flash out here. The Morg binding is going to biff a little bit, fortunately, but that's going to be another heal down for Fudgy Ditters and an ignite down for Murphy. A lot of summer smells were blown for that, and Labby still unfortunately died.
I don't think Popo's pecking order could have possibly hoped for a better first 3 minutes of their game. That's 2 deaths on the lad. Now, pretty soon gonna get behind in levels too. Level 2 right now is Menbug's taking a trip into the enemy jungle.
He's looking for something, and the Brute is going to land onto Fudgy Ditters here in the bot lane, but nothing bad is going to happen as it is not enough to kill him. Membung is definitely looking for something here in this top, as he is playing super aggressive. I might be a little bit behind the stream. I just lagged a little bit. I'm so sorry if I am.
What time are you at on the spectrum?
I'm at 343, 344.
All right.
Yeah,
I'm around 57, 58. I think I'm on the same time as Panda.
Let me just speed up. Panda, can you give that off again one more time? Can you just keep it going? It looks like Aurelia is going to ignite the Orianna, but it's not going to be enough here for a little mid lane skirmish. Again, I apologize if I'm a little bit behind.
That was something interesting there. I saw actually earlier today on Reddit, and I didn't personally know that Cleanse get rid of Ignite, and that's exactly how Orianna used it there.
Yeah, I mean, it's just a trade of summoner spells. There was a reason why, Rob took that cleanse, and I think that's the reason. I didn't even know you could cleanse and ignite, so yeah, really cool to see that. Obviously Rob was probably going to die to the ignite if he didn't cleanse it, so just some summoner spell trading there in the mid lane. It looks like we got a little bit of a top lane fight here as Trundle is just autoing and queuing the Nasus, but it's not enough to kill him as Nasus's wave is pushing right into Trundle. Trundle might be looking for something here though, as Nasus is below. Nocturne is bot lane. It looks like he might be looking for a gank here. He's 0-2, unfortunately. He's a little bit behind Menbung, but Menbung is actually going to find him in the river here. And nothing's going to happen because Nocturne was able to get away. Yikes. You know, even though we're only 6 minutes in the... man, yeah, I'm lagging super hard, and I don't know why. It looks like there's like a 1.2k gold lead already, 6 minutes in the game, and that could be really detrimental here.
So we see the Sheen getting built first by Aurelia. That's definitely gonna be a Triforce build. Menbun comes to mid lane, flash out of Raw.
Oh, I am super behind. So sorry. But it looks like the Aurelia is going to ult right on top of him, and he's going to get away. But Nasus is here to kind of catch Zerara. God, I can't pronounce his name out. But it looks like the Aurelia stun is going to land on him as well as Menbung's stun. And so Nasus can't get anything, unfortunately. Yeah, it's not looking too good here on the side of, you know, the Power Bottom boys here with that early game, those 2 early game deaths, but Nasus is just staying in the mid lane here, while Menbung is looking for Labby, but Menbung cannot find him as Labby's able to get away. It's your call. You can if you want.
Alright, apologies everybody. We're having some technical difficulties. This is Fling Panda here. We're going to take over play-by-play calls. We see Rob get stunned underneath the tower by Aurelia. Aurelia is going to dash away, and that's just a trade here. Menbung's showing his face in the mid lane. Labby is nearby. And yes, Rich, this is still game number 1. We had a number of internet delays, and eventually we had to end up having to find a sub for Super Kami. Yeah, long story short, Super Kami subbed out this game. Super Hoagie also subbed in this game as well, so the bot lane for Popo's pecking order is an entirely different bot lane. As we see trading in the top lane, front lash. StarCraft going at it a little bit. Anyways, boys, what are you seeing so far across the map?
You know, I think it looks like this game, early game at least, is going to Popo's pecking order here. The 2 kills on the Aurelia's definitely looking like that, but it looks like both ults are going to be blown in the top lane here as Trundle is looking for something here, but unfortunately, Labby's going to ult right on top of the Nasus and just double, or oh my god, what am I saying? Trundle's able to kill the Nasus, but he is going to go down for that as, you know, the ult has been popped. Yikes.
So that's nice for Labby.
As we see Chains of Corruption in the bot lane, Piper is going in after Soul Binding coming out, and then the Dark Binding is going to miss wide to the left. In goes Murphy Rudette on to Gordon Ramsay. Menbung is here, and Murphy's going to have to flash away and burn heal as well from Fudgy Ditters to get away from Menbung, who does have 6.
So that's a lot of cool ones. But that kill in top lane is really nice for Labyrinth, who was behind 2 kills already. Starting this dragon, the enemy bot lane recalled, so it looks like Varus and Morgana are going to push us out and then join them. So Cloud Drake over to the side of Popo's pecking order, that's going to be great for them. With the Skarner, the faster he can get to the enemy backline or front line in the case they don't have a Nasus there, they can grab Nocturne or Rakan and take him back just as good. So the faster Skarner can get to someone to ult.
As we see Rob get killed underneath the tower by Zerword, who stuns him underneath. And then the dive along with Morgana, black shielding away the shockwave. So very well done there. Rob using cleanse as well. and Zarwudo using Ignite. I think something you guys haven't mentioned yet is that Menbung is running Predator, so that early Cloud Drake is going to mean that he's going to move that much faster, which will be very important, especially since we see another Cloud Drake as the next one up. If there end up being 3 Cloud Drakes, Menbung is really going to have to be like in life.
Yeah, definitely. Going off of that, not only would Menbung benefit from that Cloud Drake, but if we look at this top lane here, the Trundle is a level ahead and is so much tankier than the Nasus here. With the Vest and the Ruby Crystal against just armor items. And so top lane is not looking good here for the side of Front Lash, unfortunately.
We'll see more trading in the mid lane. Rob going to try and use the attack command back on Zarwudo, but Zarwudo's just opting to walk away, and Rob's not going to chase against Segment Farm. PvP will have to rely on the Cog late game or some nasty Nocturne ganks. Agreed. They also got to wait till this Nasus is able to get ahead of StarCraft. StarCraft right now being able to shred through him. So that's becoming a huge point as we see Hoagie is clearing out some vision in the mid lane. Labby is bot lane right now, and if they know that Hoagie is not there, they should be engaging onto Piper. But instead, it looks like Labby's going to go back into his jungle.
Yeah, Pipe entirely vulnerable there. Tough flash, but that could have been an opportunity to take away his flash.
Yeah, especially with Murphy, I think having more than one way to get in onto Piper. He does have his ultimate up. As we see the ultimate coming out from Menbung, flashed away by Rob as Labby is here to counter gank in the mid lane.
Yeah, you hate to have your flash down, especially as a solo laner, just because it opens you up for that many more ganks. But the Nocturne ult's going to actually... Menbung, who's going to have to flash away. It looks like we're just trading ults for flashes here, back and forth for both sides here, as an ult and a flash were blown on, both teams. So it looks like just a lot of even trades here, which for the side of the Power Bottom Boys is something that they kind of need right now. They're down 4 kills. They're down about 2k in gold. They just need to come even here in trades to do well.
We see Rob get caught again by Zarwudo, who dashes in on him, flash over the wall by Labyrinth, and he looks like he might be away, as this Irelia is now 4-0 in lane.
So we start to see a pretty tremendous gold lead in favor of POPO's pack order. In alone, 1,500 gold. Actually, a bit more, closer to 1,800 gold in favor of Irelia. Orion's really falling behind. I believe Aurelia can complete Force when she recalls here.
Yeah, it'll definitely be close. And I mean, just, the Aurelia having those 4 kills is exactly what the Popo's pecking order wants here on the Aurelia. They want her to snowball, and it looks like we had a little skirmish here in top lane.
Top lane, as we see the ultimate coming out for Front Lash. StarCraft's going to stay underneath the tower, take tower shots, but StarCraft doesn't care, and he's got enough health to get out.
Yeah, this is like what we saw last week. I believe the Trundle was able just to kill the Nasus, but Nasus was, like I said, in team fights, did a lot better than the Trundle did, so it'll be interesting to see if that kind of happens again here in this game. We have 2 different teams with the same top lane champs picked, so we'll see how that goes later in the game. But like I was saying, the Aurelia being so... Orion is doing exactly what it wants. And you were right, Reese. That first item for Aurelia is a Triforce.
Yeah, and looks like might be going Merc Treads next, as bot tower looks like it's going to be the first tower down. Piper is not getting solo gold there.
Regardless of whether or not it's solo gold, I think having the gold in general is just nice. It just widens that gold lead in general.
We see Chains of Corruption landing onto Murphy. Murphy has been stunned up, and Piper picks up a kill in the bot lane. Menbung staying bot lane and putting pressure on this bot side of the map, as Labby and Front Lash are trying to take the Rift Herald. Zarwudo looks like he knows. Going to put a pink ward into the pit and stand next to a blast gun. As here comes StarCraft, and we're going to see a fight over the Rift Herald. In goes Labby on to Zarwudo. Zarwudo going to get shut down there as the shockwave comes out as well. Rob going to get suppressed here by Menbung, and he's trapped between 3 members. Rob going to be able to get out as StarCraft goes straight after Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay burns the stopwatch, and StarCraft now in the 3v1. Rob looking like he might come back, might get the kill onto Gordon Ramsay. Does pick up the kill there, but the StarCraft is taken down. Flash away by Piper is as Murphy is going to go after him, getting the Ignite down. Charm does land finally. Fudgy Jitters not going to be in range for artillery strike as Piper is trying to get away, and Murphy's going to end up picking the kill. Lots going on there as Rift Herald also went down and has been immediately summoned in the top lane.
There's so much going here, you know, on all sides of the map here, and it seems like POPO's pecking order is consistently winning fights, even if Piper was caught out. You know, Piper isn't the champ that's, 4-1, and so getting caught out is a bad thing. I mean, Piper was a little overextended, but, it's not that bad.
We'll see Murphy is going to get stunned by Menbung here. In goes Menbung, does have the black shield on him. They're going to get Fudgy Ditters, and Murphy might be in trouble himself. Going to get hit by the Dark Binding by Gordon Ramsay. That's something that's been really important here. Gordon Ramsay hitting a lot of his dashes. Top turret has been taken down. Rift Herald's going to crash into the tower. And Front Lash trying to clear off the Rift Herald as it's going to do about half the health onto the tower. And another Cloud Drake is being started by the red team. 4 members here. Only Labby to contest. He might have to ult over the wall and try and smite this, but he does look like he's a whole level down on Menbung, so Menbung should have smite priority. And yep, Ops just give up the dragon. Menbung getting another Cloud Drake for himself. That Predator is going to feel real nice now. And then yeah, stacking armor versus a Trundle. It's a very interesting strategy.
As the second Cloud goes over to the pecking order, we see them completely controlling the tempo of this game. Very one-sided so far, I want to say. There was some small advantage, a couple kills going on to Oriana. Varus dying in the bot lane a while ago now. So many things have been happening since that happened, but we saw the Rift taken and the up to take a tower and a half. And it seems like Power Bottom Boys are just reeling from POPO's pecking order taking so many big steps.
Yeah, like you said, Yuramus, this game is completely gauged now, by POPO's pecking order. We're just seeing Trundle just beat down on this Nasus here in the top lane as he tries to catch him, but the Wither's going to slow him. Sorry, Eric, for taking that from you. But yeah, it's just this game is completely in the hands of the Power Bottom Boys here, which kind of blew my expectations away here. Also, the probability that all these dragons were going to be clouds definitely is very slim, and I think the POPO's pecking order got really lucky there with the fact that they got all the clouds. And I can't believe I'm saying that. That Cloud Drakes are great, but yeah, I mean, with the Predator on Menbung and just in general, when you control a game, it's nice to have that rotational advantage, even if it's just more movement speed. And here we go. It's going to be a tower dive to mid lane.
We see the Shockwave land on the Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay, though, is not the one taking the tower. That is actually StarCraft. StarCraft taken down, but in return was Murphy. So 1-for-1 so far in the mid lane as Menbung looks like he's going to go get his blue buff. Blue team might press in. No, Menbung's back to defend. And Piper should be able to clear the wave.
Yeah, I mean, it was actually a 2-for-1 here. And I think, we just said POPO's pecking order here had complete control of the game, and they kind of risk it by doing some aggressive dive, and I don't know if that's the right call here. They're so far ahead. They have 5K in gold. They have 2 towers down. They should just lay back, farm up, fight for these main objectives here. And, with that, they could obviously probably win the game if they just play more defensively and just keep their lead. Playing it that aggressive could be a game changer here. I mean, LCS time and time again, games being determined by one decision or one team fight, and I hope it doesn't come down to that, but it might.
At the start of that fight, they were sitting on top of Ward in that topside bush. So yeah, it looked like they were just trying to force something that really wasn't there quite yet. Thinking StarCraft was so tanky he could be able to do whatever he wanted, but ended up getting taken down by Labby, who's now kind of clawed himself back at 2-3-1. Rob as well, now at 3-3-1. So early deficit starting to be clawed back just a little bit.
Yeah, we do see Nocturne taking the Blood Razor enchantment for his jungle item. Kind of interesting. I was almost hoping we might have seen Cinderhulk or the Warrior enchantment. Again, I'm not very knowledgeable jungle. I don't I don't presume to know anything about whether or not those would actually be good, but it seems like they could benefit from some form of frontline.
Yeah, I mean, I think for the comp's sake, maybe Cinderhulk would have been better, but as a I've played Nocturne before, you don't really build tanky on Nocturne, you build straight AD or lethality, and so, I understand where you're coming from, where it might be nice to have that Cinderhulk, but it could really hurt Nocturne individually if he's not able to just one-shot somebody when he ults. So the Blood Razor, I think, is okay here. He also has the, I think it's a T-Mat. Yeah, he has the T-Mat, which, with that extra attack speed from Blood Razor, it could give him some extra, split pushing capabilities as well. So I think the build is fine. It might not be the best, but we'll see. It's still too early in the game. We're only at 22 minutes here. It's not a complete stomp. So it'll be interesting.
I agree. There's obviously time power to turn this around, and a good pick by Rakan could do exactly that.
As we see the pick coming here right now, Shockwave going down. Tower does fly all, but Zaruto is taken down here. Rob picking up another kill. Menbung flashing away is ignited. Dark Binding going to land. Labyrinth going to flash forward. Going to get the fear down onto Menbung, and that's another kill for Labyrinth.
That's
StarCraft now caught over position. Fudgy Ditter's trying to get after him. Pillar coming out. Chains of Corruption onto Murphy. Murphy is held still. Murphy is so low, and Murphy's going to be able to get out of it. StarCraft going after Rob, and he's going to see multiple flashes burned here. Rob going to go back, try and trade a little bit of damage with attack command. Rob might be left for dead, and Rob is gone. Labyrinth now going to use the spell shield, and that's going to be spell shielding away the Dark Binding as Frontlash takes a turret in the top lane. Checking on the stacks here. He looks like he's at 390 some odd stacks, as there's a very large weight bot that Fudgy Ditters is going to have to try and clear, or they're going to lose tier 2 bot. They might actually just lose it, as Piper is straight up damaging the tower. StarCraft taking the damage from Kog'Maw, doesn't really care. Zarwudo now in Frontlash. And we have a 2v1 in the top lane. Smite coming out. Menbung targeting Frontlash as Zarwudo takes a Q to the face. Frontlash now trying to get out. Does have a lot of armor. Flashes over the wall and might use the Blast Cone to get out. Yep, there goes the Blast Cone, and Frontlash is away.
Wow, there was just so much blown on the side of POPO's pecking order trying to grab Frontlash, and it's just unfortunate to see that happen, but they should have known that his flash was up, and it's a little too aggressive. I think POPO's pecking order is just getting too aggressive. While they are ahead, I don't know if it's enough. POPO's pecking order needs to slow down the game a little bit. They need to catch their breath and say, hey, we're ahead, but we're not as ahead as we all think we are, as they come and try to siege this mid tower here in mid lane.
Yeah,
that was the dragging over to the bottom boy is not going to be it. They're going to lose the mid lane power for it. I don't think that's worth it all. One River Drake, Ocean Drake. They're all River Drakes, really. Yes. But one Ocean Drake in exchange for the tower, that's bad. That's really bad. That opens up for Popo's pecking order to just clear the top side of the jungle and prep for Baron if they get a good team fight.
Benbug gonna get found out here, and we're gonna see a fight in the top lane. Front Lash gonna pop the Fury of the Sands as in goes Gordon Ramsay. Gordon Ramsay gonna get popped by Front Lash as Fudgy Ditters has Zaruto on top of him. Zaruto going after it as we see two divers, one on each backline. Kog'Maw finally taken down. Zaruto and Gordon Ramsay down for Popo's pecking order as Fudgy Ditters and Front Lash are down for their team. Piper is still alive, so Front Lash was not able to take down Piper is, and that means they're going to lose tier 2 in the top lane. And this is exactly what you're wanting to see if you are Popo's pecking order. You want to see them taking objectives, starting to press the tempo just a little bit more, because the longer this game goes on, the stronger Kog'Maw and Nasus are going to be. So you want to end the game sooner rather than later.
Oh. Opie. And it looks like, Labby's going to grab the Scuttle Crab here. As we said before, Scuttle Crab is the most important thing here in League of Legends in 8.11. So nice that, Labby's able to get that as the memes are still alive and well here in PMA LCS. But even though, not the Power Bottom Boys, the Power Bottom Boys are winning fights and taking objectives back, the gold lead is just widening. And that's very interesting to see as the number of kills have gone a little bit closer. The gold lead continues to widen. It's from those 5 towers, and it's just nuts. Popo's pecking order has a great comp here. They have a lot of wave clear. They have a lot of split push potential here in their top laner and 80 carry, and so it's a big yikes here for the Power Bottom Boys.
Somebody in chat was saying that you might want to go if you're a Popo's pecking order, you might want to go 1-3-1, put Irelia and Trundle in the side lanes and run Skarner, Morgana, and Piper Varus through the mid lane, and force Power Bottom Boys to open up the game and open up their team just a little bit more. There's no one that can really face Trundle and Irelia in a 1v1 right now, so that might be the way that they need to be thinking about pushing the tempo on this game.
Yeah, and they might do that here. It looks like they're trying to clear out Baron, so it's definitely feasible.
Yeah, I do actually really like that 1-3-1 idea because Cloud Drake, he'll easily be able to out-rotate the side of Power Bottom Boys. So if they happen to be collapsing on Irelia in the side lane, they not only can they faster trying to get away, but they're faster. Their teammates are faster coming in to help them.
As we see StarCraft getting a little caught out here, Fudgy Ditters trying to go after him. Does have a Hurricane built. As we see the flash away by Fudgy Ditters. Almost got caught there himself as Popo's pecking order is going to go on to the Baron now.
So, yeah. I didn't notice this earlier, but Nashor's Tooth was actually built on Varus. Pretty much a strictly AP item with a strong on-hit magic.
We're going to see the fight break out here. God. Somebody just gets absolutely deleted. Morgana taken down by Rob. That is a double kill for Rob. Rob picks up, no, does not pick up the triple kill as Trundle is going off. Rob uses his Zanyas, and StarCraft going to get dropped down. Zaruto has slain Fudgy Ditters, but that fight has been totally won by the Power Bottom Boys as Nasus has TP'd in, and they're going to be able to press into the mid lane.
They're an easy come, easy go. That was tremendous victory for Power Bottom.
That was some great communication from them. That is what I said before is what the Power Bottom Boys are exactly doing. They're winning these team fights. They're able to find these scenarios, with all their ults up, and they're able just to land some really immaculate wombo combos with that Ori ult on top of with the Ori ult right after the Nocturne ult. Oh my god, humming. It happened so fast, and I don't think Popo's pecking order saw it coming either. Holy cow. Some great gameplay here in PMA LCS.
Yeah, I think the next objective is going to come up here, this Ocean Trade. Could be a second one for the Power Bottom. They've got time to repair while Popo's pecking orders on the top half of the map for the most part, around the Raptor camp. So they've set up some ward coverage in and around the pit.
As Piper
now
is
they're
going
just
to walk
waiting.
too close. Going to use the Black Shield to try and get away. Murphy into the back lane as Menbung has been trying to suppress somebody and pull them away from the team. But Kog'Maw here is untouched pretty much in the back lane. StarCraft going to be going down now as in goes Zarwudo, takes down Nocturne. Kog'Maw still up. Kog'Maw now finally drops. Zarwudo being the carry now and does get taken down here by Frontlash. Ju is getting to the point where his Qs do all the damage. And again, another fight where it is 4 for 3 in favor of the Power Bottom Boys. The 3-man shockwave by Rob, very key there.
A very smart play by Rob onto that shock until Black Shield is well truly gone. I'll say that Black Shield is very effective in that fight. Murphy Rada on Varus really stop the ultimate knockup from Rakan and Varus to survive and all a ton of damage.
You know, and going off of that, we just saw basically a few death bushes this game, you know, with Menbung and StarCraft walking literally right into their opponents here. And it's, you know, if we look at these vision scores, Menbung has 50 more vision score than Labby and Port, or in mid, there's a 4, is that 40 or 30? I can't read. Oh, it's 10. My bad. I can't do numbers or words. Look at that.
You see another fight start out here. Murphy going in onto, who is that? I don't know. They're nearsighted. That was Zarwudo. Black Shield onto Piper is a little bit early there as they did not know where Labyrinth was coming. He did pop the ultimate, which is Paranoia. So the team huddled up.
The Ocean Drake goes over to the Popo's pecking order, but you know, really is dead for another 30 seconds, and she's, in my opinion, the biggest threat on Popo's pecking order right now. But it doesn't look like our Bottom Boys are able to get a whole lot. Yes, thinking again, misspoke. Varus is actually a pretty huge threat.
You know, it's funny, going off of Varus, looking at a needlessly large rod in his inventory, I wonder if that's going to be for a death cap or something along those lines. It's interesting to see that Piper's actually building kind of AP Varus.
Yeah, AP
Wow.
on him. Varus.
The
Yeah,
best
that's-
kind of Varus.
The best kind. My favorite. Delicious.
Just interesting. I don't know if that's the way to go about in this game with Popo's pecking order losing a couple of these team fights. It might be better if Varus could build more attack speed, or AD in general, or crit or whatever. I'm not really an AD carry main, but like I said, I don't know if AP is the right way to go here against the Power Bottom Boys.
Well, I will say, as far as attack speed, he has easily reached attack speed cap a couple stacks of Ginsu, sitting at 2.1 passively. I think just
Okay.
3 gets him to the cap. Having only played a couple games on this patch today, the only thing I can think that okay, we do see the death cap completed by. So the only thing that I can think that we're seeing AP Varus on hit Varus for is because Fleet Footwork was nerfed pretty hard for AD carries. It was buffed slightly to compensate for non-AD users. The AP ratio was increased. So, yeah, perhaps it's something to do with that.
It's a death cap.
Yeah, death cap. That's something, huh?
You know, it also might be because they have an Aurelia mid, and so they need some sort of magic damage as well. So that kind of makes sense.
That's true.
And it looks like we
You
have
see
a
the
top.
Paranoia coming out onto StarCraft. He's kind of caught out here, Murphy going in as well. And this looks like they're going to see some flashes over the wall. StarCraft going to get charmed up. Labby picks up the kill, and Fudgy Ditters comes in and takes down Menbum, but Fudgy Ditters has That's not Fudgy Ditters. Who is that? That would be Labyrinth using the Guardian Angel to survive. As there's 2 kills over to the Power Bottom Boys. Starting to lose the initiative here as we are all tied up in kills. Still the turret differential is the gold differential.
Yeah, the gold differential is starting to close, though. It was just a few minutes ago close to 8,000 gold, I believe.
Mhm.
Now it's only 4,000.
However, though, the later, we go here in this game, the lesser the meaning of that gold lead. So while it is shrinking, it's not that detrimental here for Popo's pecking order, as it doesn't really mean that much.
I don't know. I think that means everything as we see Piper get the Black Shield again. The gold differential was their advantage, and the longer this goes on, the less of an advantage they're gonna have.
Right.
Which I think there goes their chances of winning the game. We see the Baron get started up here. Frontlash taking about no damage from it. Has built straight tank. Dark binding over the wall. Menbung has the Black Shield. Menbung does not have flash, so he cannot get out. He did flash, but I think he flashed in the wrong direction. Has Paranoia down onto Piper Izz's. That was a huge shockwave there by Rob, and Labby picks himself up a double kill as
That's
Fudgy
That
Ditters
is
picks up a kill as
crippling.
Zarwudo gonna try and press the inhibitor because he wasn't there for that whole fight. Fudgy Ditters is here, gonna kill the minion waves. Might try and take Zarwudo, be a bit aggressive. We see TP coming here by Nasus. Gonna get the slowdown onto Zarwudo, and he's gonna try and just run out of the base.
Yeah,
Will be able
Zamordo
to get
getting just
away.
about everything he can out of that, but the rest of the team just died, and the enemy team got there, and so that's going to be huge for the next couple of minutes if they can start pushing into the base and break the base with that Baron.
Maybe
Yeah, that play was just very interesting for Menbung. Flashing to blast cone and then blast coning in, and unfortunately not being able to smite. Wow. I think we talked about how this gold lead is shrinking for Popo's pecking order. I think they're looking for some sort of Hail Mary right now to get some sort of lead back into this game. And unfortunately, stealing Baron was not it.
as we see some Baron minions start stacking up in the mid lane. This bot turret is pretty low, but the Death Bush instead is going to be formed. I like this call. It looks like somebody will face check right into it. Frontlash leading the way. But it looks like Popo's pecking order are wise to it. They instead are shaded to the top side of the map as they're going to go down and get the Elder Drake that has just spawned.
Yeah, definitely. That Death Bush was a really good call here, as the only main objective is Elder Drake, which is on the bottom half of the map. So it would definitely have made sense if Popo's pecking order just walked right into them. That's definitely some really good shot calling here on the side of the Power Bottom Boys.
Yep. And then
So
Popo,
it looks like there's some indecisive decision making on the part of Popo's pecking order. They're trying to make a death push now. I feel like if either they did not know about that Elder Drake, which I almost find it hard to believe they set death push and then they running to it without any on it. I mean, maybe they think it's too dangerous to check, but
and now they
they get
leave.
the Elder Drake, and yeah, they just wasted some time sitting on that top side of the bush. They were really committing to getting a push.
Looks like they're trying to wait for people to respawn, and then here's goes Paranoia in. Lats Labby. Labby is going so deep. Labby gonna get taken down by Piper Izz's. Now we're on a 4v1. Piper Izz's has gotten a double kill now. There goes another kill over to Piper. That's a triple kill, but the damage from Fudgy Ditters is returned, and Fudgy Ditters is now deleting people. Fudgy Ditters into StarCraft. Who wins that? StarCraft wins, and Rob is the only one left for his team. StarCraft, only one left as well. 1v1, so 4 for 4 so far. As StarCraft tries to get away from Rob, uses the pillar to slow him down, and will get out.
Oh my god, that.
It's a bloody mess.
Yeah, it's just a clown fiesta here for the Power Bottom Boys and Popo's pecking order, as there's so much. Labby ulting in a little too far in, was able to let POPO's pecking order get some kills here, which was ultimately the reason why they won that fight. If Labby was able to peel back a little bit, or not go in as hard, they might have been able to win that a little bit harder, unfortunately. But wow.
Power Bottom Boys also had some pretty critical mistakes in that. Labby with the engage on Noya went straight for Piper Businesses, did not kill him.
Got Gordon
the
Ramsay
Black
instead.
Yeah, the Black Shield going down on Piper, certainly had to help, and Gordon Ramsay died instead. But also there was a pretty ultimate from Rihanna, which only caught the Skarner. If that had happened to go with Nocturne, it could have caught Piper and popped the Black Shield, if nothing else. At best, it could have, completely deleted the rest of his health bar. That would have changed the fight entirely. Wouldn't have got a triple kill.
Yeah, I think it's just slightly out of range for that Shockwave. As you're saying, if the Shockwave does go with Labyrinth, then you might be looking at an entirely different fight. As we see Elder Drake's in spawn here in about a minute 50. Popo's pecking order is shaded to that side of the map. Gold lead now is in favor of Power Bottom Boys. They're trying to find Frontlash. Frontlash all alone. Gonna get suppressed here, and Darkbound, and he's gonna get taken down by Piper is solo kill onto the Nasus, as 4 members are gonna try and push down onto this bot. Inhib tower. Rob is here. There goes StarCraft. They see StarCraft. Attack command gonna hit him.
I'm just gonna say, as a caster, I'm genuinely scared of Piper right now.
Gonna get caught though on the Shockwave, and his health bar is down way low. Black Shield does come out. Sorry, I had to interrupt you there.
It's alright, because that was completely unexpected for me. Kind of contradictory to what I was saying, but not quite proving me wrong. Piper survives. He did a zone hourglass, savvy to the fact that he is the easiest to pop member of Popo's pecking order right now. If the Black Shield from Morgana doesn't come in a timely manner, he's going to use that Zonia's to survive whatever kind of bursts that Oriana or Nas or Nocturne bring. If he survives that, his prolonged damage in these teammates, he just he gets a few auto attacks off, and he's off to the races. He's doing so much damage.
As we see Baron coming up in about 20 seconds here. All right, so if you are Popo's pecking order, what are you trying to do to finish this game off? Because it is gone into 43 minutes now.
I think if I was on, Popo's pecking order shot caller, I would just keep trying to catch that Nasus out. If Popo's pecking order can make it a 5v4 and use that Cloud Drake advantage to out-rotate after killing Frontlash individually, it could give Popo's pecking order an edge. I think, they had that 8,000 gold lead, and it is gone. They can't make a risky play. If they make a risky play and lose it like they have in the past 43 minutes, they will lose this game.
And there goes Baron. Baron taking down Frontlash. Getting suppressed, I do believe, here, as Labyrinth is going to go in. Gordon Ramsay going to step up and just get deleted by Fudgy Ditters. Labby now having to use the Guardian Angel as StarCraft is sitting on top of him. They're going to get the kill there on the Piper who's now on a killing spree. Rob and Fudgy Ditters, the only 2 up. This might be the option for the push, as it's 4v2 in the mid lane. Labby killed himself for no reason, ulting in. Yeah, he kind of did. Mid inhibitor going to go down. Keep Piper alive, and you can maybe end the game. But it's like they're going to back out of the base and not even try and go for the Nexus Towers into Rob and Fudgy Ditters.
Yeah, very well played from Popo's pecking order. I'm thinking their wing actions keep doing that. Like, team fights engaged onto them as they're doing these objectives. If Piper can get onto really any of them, he can just pop them pretty easily. They don't have anyone that is strictly Nasus is really tanky.
Yeah.
But also does not have a lot of magic resist, only the Oil Stone.
Power Bottom Boys look like they have respawn top. Inhib and tower are gone now, so they are still slowly breaking the base. As we see, Menbung for some reason has a lot of attack speed.
I believe it's from his W being going off. But yeah, it's always funny to see a Skarner just, you know, wail on something, even if it's just a ward. But the next call, I believe, is going to be Elder. Is that what's coming up here next?
Elder in 44, yep.
Yep. And so it looks like both teams here are going to desperately try to clear out some vision. They're going to look for something here. And this could be the game. You know, if there's one little, you know, thing that goes off and gives a team fight advantage to one team, it could just be the end. Because we are getting to that 46. We are there. We are in the late game, and that's how late game is won and lost. So, see what happens here as Elder comes up into 30.
It's a ward right there sitting on Labby, so they can see Labby quite clearly. Frontlash is in the top lane at the moment as Elder has spawned. They're gonna POPO specking order to start. Elder try and pull it out of the pit. And here is the fight for Elder Drake. Frontlash is gonna cover mid lane right now as we see supers pushing in. Trundle gonna use the pillar to zone. Frontlash TPing now. Elder is about halfway down. Paranoia coming out. Also the ult from Murphy, but they instead just turn on to the Elder, take the Elder Drake down. Huge shockwave by Rob. He's going to get a kill there onto Piper Izzes. Also takes down Morgana, uses the Zanyas to save his life. And StarCraft taken down here. Might go for the base race. Menbung racing in. He's going to have to go for it. Zarwudo stopping the backs of 3 members. 2 members have recalled. That is Fudgy Ditters and Rob. They will get a Nexus turret out of that as the super minions take a Nexus turret. Menbung thought about racing in, decides not to.
Yeah, you know, if I was POPO's pecking order now, I'm just praying to God that Winions can take down another Nexus tower and hopefully the Nexus if something like that is, you know, happens. You know, while they've been making some mistakes, I got to give it to them for playing the macro game pretty well here. Even though they lost Elder, they were able to somehow still get a tower, and that's, you know, that is some good League of Legends playing here, and a lot of good wave control, which I don't think we really talk about here in PMA LCS. And so, wow, just some phenomenal trades going on here. It's really anybody's game at this point. 48 minutes in.
Yeah. Power Bottom Boys need to find something to do with this journey. It seemed powered Drake buff, their second one in the game, which means it's very impactful, but you need just fighting or doing something with it. It's just ticking down, almost a third of the way gone now. So that runs out, and could well, not necessarily disadvantage, but they lose, you know, a huge advantage it gives them an edge.
As we see again, the push is going to be on in the bot lane. 4 members sitting bot as Skarner is going to come up here. They are not splitting Trundle off to walk waves in, it seems, as that was a recommendation from somebody in chat. Pull side lane pressure and try and force a desperate decision on the enemy side instead of their own. Only tears, yep.
Only tears.
As Piper leads the way in the bot lane, there's going to be a fight now here on this next inhibitor tower. But Fudgy Ditters is able to clear the wave in about 4 autos. Rob did get hit by a Dark Binding, but Gordon Ramsay has lost half their health bar.
Oh my god.
Yikes. That's a yikes for me, bud. They're going to clear some wards here in the jungle. As again, no neutral objectives up right now. Baron going to spawn in about a minute. And yeah, still, even though Power Bottom Boys won the fight, they haven't been able to pretty much cross the river yet.
2/3 of the Inferred Elder Drake buff gone. I think it will last to this Baron though, so if they need to get up there, they can contest this Baron. They've got this buff. because it could easily be in a one team fight.
Yeah, I mean, interestingly enough, with the Aurelia being bot, it is kind of detrimental here for POPO's pecking order. However, Nasus also doesn't have TP, so with Aurelia forcing him to be bot, he can't TP into a fight or TP in to defend or TP in to contest Baron. So it's actually a very smart play to have for bot because it keeps pressure on the power bottom boys.
As we see, Irelia is the one now splitting instead of Trundle, even though Trundle is the one with TP. Irelia has Ignite. Do get the inhib in the top lane as they again rotate back over to Baron. Varus is mid laner at the moment along with Trundle. We might see a fight break out here maybe, or are they just going to walk around in a circle around Baron? That's indeed looks like what's going on.
Yeah, they're threatening to end the game if they start the need to get back to their...
Ooh, yeah, Piper, Menbung, StarCraft, and Gordon Ramsay in onto the Nexus. They do have quite the wave. Front Lash is here. In goes Labyrinth on the Paranoia. Labyrinth going to get dropped. Huge shockwave, though, as StarCraft going to get taken down. In goes Zarwudo onto Fudgy Jitters. He's going to use his Guardian Angel now. Zarwudo has got a... Somebody has a quadra kill. Is Fudgy Jitters going to get the Penta? Get the Penta.
Oh,
Zarwudo going to down and Penta kill for... Fudgy Ditters, and that should be the game. 50-second death timers. They're going to need to run it straight down mid.
It's going to be close. Their inhibitors down minions just yet. This Ultra Drake's about to wear off, so there goes some extra damage from that.
No, but they have Front Lash. They have Fudgy Ditters. Rob with a shield. They should just be able to walk in and just smack this turret.
Yeah, I mean, you know, when you get to 52 minutes in the game, you know, that just one team fight can determine the outcome of the game, and it's awful, you know, to be on the other side of it, but some really good play here from the power bottom boys, and they were able to come back from an 8k gold deficit. They were able to come back from like a 10 kill deficit, and that's going to be a GG here for game one.
Power bottom boys pulling out the win as we see spam in the chat. Rob, I guess Rob owes us $20 now for his own game. Ripperonis and pepperonis. All right, we're gonna try and get our stuff set up for a MVP poll. If somebody wants to get that up, Rich or whoever's in the chat, get the MVP poll up. Power bottom boys, Front Lash, Labyrinth, Rob, Fudgy Ditters, Murphy. Pick your MVP out of that bunch. So we're gonna take a look at some stataronis here.
Ooh. Love me some Statarinos.
Statarinos, yes. All right. We're going to look first at the damage to champions number, and look at this number by Fudgy Ditter. 63,000 damage to champions, 45,000 damage to champions done by Rob, as Photoshop wants me to update. Go away, Photoshop. Front Lash with 29,000, Labyrinth with 24,000, and then Murphy with 9,000. Over for the side of the Popo's pecking order. Pretty respectable numbers in return for Piper is 41,000 there, 32,000 by Trundle, 11,000 by Menbung, 26,000 done by Zarudo, and then 14,000 done by Super Hoagie. Anyways, going back over to some other numbers here, we see the final score lines for the Power Bottom Boys: 3-7-21 by Front Lash, Labyrinth 8-6-8 19, 12-4 and 22. So Rob died 3 times really quick in that game, if I'm not mistaken. At about 9 minutes in, he had all 4 of his deaths, and then for the next 40 minutes did not die at all. That is very impressive. Fudgy Ditters going 17-5 and 14 with 416 farm, leading the way with gold earned at 25,000. Very impressive there. Murphy 1-8-33. A lot of good setups. But then over for the Popo's pecking order, still some pretty respectable numbers. Piper is 10-7 and 11 with 427 for most farm in the game. Zarwudo 10-8 and 11 with 337. So again, just very well played to both sides. I think the scaling of the Kog'Maw and the Nasus won them the game.
You know, going off of that, I hate to cut you off. Panda, but we have Rich frantically copying and pasting the straw poll, telling people that they got to go Vault. We only have 7 votes in, and there's 34 viewers right now. Come on, guys, vote for your favorite MVP here. I don't know about you guys, but I think I got to give it to Rob. He has some great stats. He has some great damage, and those shockwaves were brutal. Oh my God, landing! He played so well when it came to team fights, and I got to give it to him personally. I don't know about you two, but I think it looks like there's bubbles created. Lama, we know, boys. We got like 3 people messaging. Sorry about that, everyone.
Vote
I
both
don't
of
know
them. I
which-
don't care.
Oh God, no, Panda! Don't do this. Don't.
Anarchy.
Oh. I guess we could have 2 MVPs for game 1, hypothetically. Wow. But Uramus, who do you give MVP to?
That's a hard question. Do I have to answer? I do have to answer. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think it's tempting to want to give it to Fudgy Ditters because he got a penta and he did play very well. Staying alive in that last team fight especially, so important as a Kog'Maw late game, full build. You're just pumping out damage, and I mean I didn't quite catch on to it. Whether the enemy team was jumping on him as hard as they needed to, but in the end he was able to auto attack enough pentakill of all things. So I think I also have to give it to Rob because those Orion ultimates were clutch to allowing Kog'Maw to get that damage off, pulling them all together for the auto attacks with the Runance Hurricane to proc them all. Really overall it was it's hard to say between them, but I'm gonna give it to Rob.
Yeah. Well, I want to take your eyes over to some interesting stats here. We see vision score here for 115 for Murphy. But over on the other team, you see Menbung leading the way with vision score 130, 62 wards placed, 25 destroyed, 14 control wards placed. Yikes. And then 105 for Super Hoagie. So Popo's pecking order looks like they had control over the vision game, yet weren't able to take advantage of that, unfortunately. As we are going to close this stream down for now, we're going to get reset up and set up again for game number 2. Power Bottom Boys, your game 1 winners. Their record now stands at 6-1. We had to change that. Game record 6-1. Yep. Anyways, stick around. We're gonna change a couple things up on the stream. Hopefully, get these guys' mics fixed up. We had a little bit of lag issues going on there.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, stick around though. This is gonna be a very good series. So, yeah.